Oh, here we go. The fishing event for WuWa. What do we got here? Okay. Old Man and the Whale. Okay, this is where we get the shiny Lorelei, the ocean's gift weapon. Oh my loud. Okay. Blue spotted giant fish. And we get a skin as well. So I'm assuming that's the skin, rectifier skin we could apply on any other rectifier. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, steer the gondola Rachel and scour the seas for ideal fishing spots. Once you locate a fishing spot, interact with it to start fishing. Okay. I mean, looks like I'll be a giga fisher. That looks easy as fuck. You can store your catches in Rachel's cargo. Yeah. Sell cargo. Regularly issues a variety of fishing requests. You can deliver the request catches at the dock to earn Riccioli fishery coins and other materials more efficiently. Okay. And then there's upgrades for your gondola. Okay. Improvements include expanding cargo slots, increasing sailing speed, and unlocking unique fishing abilities. I wonder if the gondola is gonna be a permanent feature, or if it's just for this event. Surely it's permanent, right? Both Rover and Phoebe can unlock advanced fishing abilities, such as increasing the sale value of catches. I'm assuming this only works if you own Phoebe, right? There's 72 different fish. Fame, go on adventures across the Riccioli Island to complete planks requests and record new species to build your fame. Your fame reflects your fishing expertise and the respect you've earned from Riccioli fishermen. The higher your fame, the more benefits you'll enjoy across the Riccioli Island. Oh shit. Rachel takes damage upon bumping into hazards on the sea. Okay. Oh shit, and you could lose all of your cargo if Rachel dies. Okay. Interesting. Special combat mechanics. Negative status. Ooh. Special mechanics explain during battle, certain attribute attacks inflict negative status on the target. Negative status comes in 6 types, each carrying different effects. Take the new resonator Phoebe. She can utilize Spectro Frazzle. Certain Spectro attacks inflict a stackable Spectro Frazzle effect. Spectro Frazzle effects deal Spectro damage to the target at regular intervals during its duration, while reducing 1 stack of Spectro Frazzle effect. The damage inflicted by Spectro Frazzle effect depends on the resonator's level, the enemy's defense and damage resistance, and the number of Spectro Frazzle effect stacks. It is not influenced by the resonator's attack, crit, or other factors. Okay. Perform enhanced resonator skill when Rover Spectro has more than 50% diminutive sound to inflict 2 stacks of Spectral Frazzle effect and shimmer on the target. Targets affected by shimmer retain their Spectral Frazzle effect stacks, even though the effect normally decreases stacks upon dealing damage. Okay. That's kind of nice. Resonance Liberation applies 6 stacks of Spectral Frazzle effect to all targets in range. I'm assuming that we're gonna probably get another character that has Shimmer. That'll be like a better version of Spectral Rover for Phoebe in the future. Inner Confession status is adept at inflicting Spectral Frazzle. Heavy attack Star Flash applies 5 stacks. Upon entering the Confession status, Phoebe can immediately perform Heavy attack Star Flash twice, and her ult inflicts 8 stacks. If multiple resonators apply Spectral Frazzle to the same target, its base damage is determined by the highest level resonator. Yeah, okay. In addition to the inherent effect of negative status, some resonators receive extra bonuses when battling foes with negative statuses. Phoebe in her Absolution status gains increased combat strength against enemies with Spectral Frazzle. Heavy attack Star Flash benefits from an enhanced damage multiplier, and upon Absolution status, she can perform it 4 times. The outro skill also boasts an enhanced damage multiplier. Okay, so here are the other elements. So arrow is going to be arrow erosion. Stackable arrow erosion. Inflicts arrow damage on the target at regular intervals as long as it lasts, with more stacks resulting in greater damage. Okay. Havoc Bane. Havoc Bane accumulates stacks automatically while it remains active. Once it reaches its maximum stacks, it deals Havoc damage to a target, removes Havoc Bane, and applies Havoc Bane to nearby characters. Oh, so this sounds great against, like, lots of mobs. It spreads like Malzahar E. Fusion Burst. Certain fusion attacks will inflict stackable fusion burst on enemies. Once fusion burst hits its maximum stacks, it ignites and removes those stacks, dealing fusion damage. Okay. Glacio Chafe. Glacio Chafe stacks increase the target's speed. As Glacio Chafe stacks increase, the target speed gradually decreases, and then max stacks, the target is frozen. Wait, you think this works on bosses? Yes. Electro Flare. Certain electro attacks will inflict stackable electro flare. While electro flare is active, it weakens the target's attack and more stacks. Okay. All right, not bad. Pretty cool. I mean, pretty much all of them are. I think the coolest ones are probably Electro and Glacio. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. I actually think Electro sounds the worst out of everything. I think Electro's the worst out of all of them. Because Electro, all it does is it weakens the target's attack with more stacks, further reducing their strength, which is like, just dodge, forehead, or don't get, like, parry. It's like, it's kind of worthless. It isn't helping you do more damage. It isn't, like, CCing the boss, like, anything like that. So, no, because the issue is, chat, most gacha games at the end-to-end game, once you get to a certain power level, once your account is strong enough, you're less worried about survival. You're more worried about killing things fast enough. Unless they give us, like, I guess this is useful against, like, people who struggle with holograms, and hologram 6s are really hard for them, so they need to, like, make the boss weaker. I guess that could be good, but I don't think it's that. I think it's the weakest out of all of them. All the other ones deal damage, right? Yep, deals damage, deals damage, damage, and the freeze one at least CCs and slows. It slows and then it freezes at the end, which, in fact, I think this is the most busted. Depending on how crazy the slow is, like, that could be crazy good. And then the eventual freeze.
Hello,
I think the Glacio
will you be
is
maining
probably
the thing
my
when he
favorite.
comes out next week?
These three are kind
You
of
talk
whatever.
about him
I
so
think the
much
ice is
on
the
stream
weakest.
considering.
All of these mechanics have been in the game since 1.0. All enemy mechanics are probably going to add characters that can inflict these debuffs now. Oh no, of course. But I'm just saying, I think the Electro one's the lamest. I don't know. I think Electro's getting a little shafted here. Comparatively. Always in my experience in all gacha games, weakening the enemy is kind of pointless in terms of what the enemy does damage wise. It's always about weakening the enemy in terms of their defenses or doing more
Electro
damage.
will be good when they
That's, like,
add
the best.
Nature-O in 3.0
Debuffs,
Trust.
like, defensive debuffs, I think, in gacha games are always better than offensive debuffs, right? Like, debuffs that make the enemy do less damage are always going to be weaker than or worth less than the debuffs that are going to make them take more damage. So, reduced strength in electric could mean reducing defense. I mean, I think when it says, while Electro Flare is active, it weakens the target's attack, with more stacks further reducing their strength. I'm assuming that's talking about the attack. Like, I don't think strength implies other things. It's pretty much just attack. Electro might be from a support rather than DPS. I mean, maybe. Then they'll just have to do the same thing Genshin does with higher multipliers on electric and or Glacio characters. Well, it could be like the other chatter just said, right? Where maybe Electro Flare characters are primarily just going to be support-esque characters, sub-DPS slash, like, you know, those types. Whereas, you know, I can see Glacio Chafe also mainly being a supportive set as well. These three will probably be primarily offensive ones. These two will probably be like the more utility ones. Yeah. Electro one is for enemies, not for you. Yeah, I get that, right? But it's just, I don't know. The point of the status is not to benefit the player. It is to sell element-specific resonators. We already see this with Phoebe Sig. Yeah, I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, it's all about selling, you know, specific characters and their weapons. But, I don't know. I still prefer all of the elements to be, like, somewhat balanced. I don't know. Electro feels way too weak for me. It would be weird though, cause status effects are tied to elements for a character, so it would only be electro supports. Oh, who knows? They could change that up, right, in the future. Negative effects will only be applied to certain characters like Phoebe. Outside of that, it's just a mechanic for Kuro to create specific teams to sell. Phoebe, for example, her frazzle damage is basically pointless. Is it pointless? Chat, does anybody have that chart? Does anybody have that chart for Phoebe's damage spread? Someone link me a damage spread chart for Phoebe and, like, which percentage is, like, heavy attack damage, which is like liberation damage, etc. Like, what is the damage spread for her frazzle? Let me see if I can get that. Okay. Is it this? Yeah, I think it was this. Yo, okay. Whoever said, okay, this is a confession and this is absolution. I mean, I don't think it's, yeah, I mean, in her DPS, like, the frazzle's like less than 5%, so it's kind of, Phoebe buffs Spectro Frazzle by 100% and reduces the damage cycle time by half. So from 3 seconds per tick to 1.5 seconds per tick. Damage from Frazzle is 500 per tick, capping at 500. With her, it's like an extra side damage of 240k damage and more with depth reducing characters. I think the issue with dot damage in action combat is, unless you make the character entirely about dot, the dot's gonna feel insubstantial the stronger and stronger your character becomes. Like, if Phoebe was primarily all about frazzle and dot damage, then sure, it'd be fine. But because she has frazzle, but it's not her main source of damage, it kind of, I don't know. She can be? Dot is cool in turn-based, but in action combat, it's just meh. That's my opinion. I feel like in action combat, dot starts falling to the wayside the more and more invested you become, vertically invested into your character, especially if they're not primarily, exclusively focused on dot. Then, like, the dot feature is just, like, an extra, like, side number, which is, like, sure, it adds up, but, like, does it add up? Because you're gonna get to a power point where power level in which you can actually just kill the boss so fast that those dot stacks aren't really even amounting to anything because your actual other abilities just do so much more damage. So, So how much EM Phoebe needs? Unfortunately, WuWa doesn't have that type of stat.